Please welcome to the stage General Manager of Core Product, Lynsey Thornton.
Good morning. So I think we've made it clear that we're continuing to invest and innovate on our two most important sales channels, online store and in-store retail. So now let's take some time to go behind the curtain and talk about what we're doing to improve the back office merchant admin experience that powers it all. We're giving you more tools so that you can help merchants spend more time creating value and less time on workarounds. So let's get started. Arpan talked about pickup in store, but that's just part of how we're improving how merchants will get their products to buyers. We know one of the main reasons that buyers abandon purchases at checkout is because they're confused or surprised by unexpected costs. Part of those surprise costs come from shipping, and they're not helped by Shopify's lack of ability to set intelligent, optimized shipping profiles. Shipping is not a one-size-fits-all activity, especially when it comes to different types of products being shipped from different types of locations. The cost of shipping something basic like a T-shirt is not the same as shipping something fragile or bulky, like a record. So today, if a merchant sets a generalized $10 shipping rate across both, that might mean that they're either charging too much or too little, depending on what's being shipped, where it's being sent to, and where it's being shipped from. The cost of shipping are a huge barrier to success for entrepreneurs of all sizes, and we are on a mission to remove this barrier. What you see as a buyer at checkout should be exactly what the merchant means to charge. And today we're making that possible by launching shipping profiles. Merchants and partners will be able to set up different shipping rules based on different products depending on their specific needs, like whether those products are fragile or bulky or high value. You can also create location-aware shipping rules, ensuring that the price really reflects whether the product is coming from your local retail store and being shipped locally, or whether it's being shipped from a warehouse across the country. So let's look again at our example of a T-shirt and a record. With shipping profiles, you'll have so much more control over what the buyer sees at checkout, making it possible to charge less for shipping that basic T-shirt and more to ensure that the rare Beatles record gets shipped in style with tracking and insurance. And there's a lot that you can do to take advantage of these profiles in building products for our merchants. You can fine-tune the experience through the API to cater for all sorts of specialized and complex use cases that our most advanced merchants need to run their businesses most effectively. We think this is going to be really helpful for apps that support drop shipping, apps that already work with and define and dictate advanced shipping rules, marketing apps, and more. You'll be able to make simple API calls to set, control, and define these rules, instead of creating workarounds that re-implement huge pieces of functionality inside your own apps. You'll be able to work with these profiles through Shopify directly or through the GraphQL API, both of which are being released to you in developer preview today, and we'll be putting out to merchants in the coming weeks. But showing accurate pricing isn't the only problem that exists in the logistics space. After you make that all-important sale, after you hear the cha-ching, the fulfillment process begins. And for merchants, this can be incredibly time-consuming, especially when it comes to dealing with third-party or off-site fulfillment teams. After an order is received, merchants spend a lot of time going back and forth on the phone or messaging with their off-site fulfillment teams. having to go and manually mark the different stages of fulfillment within Shopify, or having to rely on inaccurate or wrong order statuses that don't fully reflect whether an order has been accepted, rejected, cancelled, or changed. It was a one-way conversation from Shopify, and it didn't give enough information back to help merchants answer their most basic customer service query: where's my order? And so I'm thrilled to announce our new GraphQL fulfillment APIs. They'll be available to partners in developer preview today and will offer accurate, instantaneous, and automated control and visibility of exactly what is happening throughout the fulfillment process, including any activity happening in third-party apps or services. So everyone in the process from start to finish can be confident knowing when they need to be hands-on and when they can be hands-off. We're turning what was a one-way conversation into a two-way conversation, enabling our merchants and our partners to better improve collaboration with each other, and most importantly, get the product to the buyer. It's so important that these APIs can react to changes throughout the fulfillment process, because commerce is messy. People change their minds, and when they do, we need to be able to support merchants in offering the best possible service. And so it's time to talk about something that many of you have been requesting for many years. So long, in fact, that it first became a forum topic back in 2009. Eric, who runs a store called puplife.com, wrote this forum post on our lack of ability to edit an order 10 years ago. So what took us so long to respond to this? We had a good reason. The timing had to be right. And as our CEO, Toby, explains in this response, orders touch almost every area of the Shopify platform. And changing something as core and fundamental as the order concept simply wasn't possible without an entire rebuild of the system. Now, we've been investing in rebuilding those core order and inventory foundations for a number of years now, and that work has already unlocked features like locations to support multi-location inventory. It's also opened the door to dramatically increased performance and flexibility. We're building the most robust logistics platform on the market, and we've just passed a big milestone on this journey. And so I'm so pleased to announce order editing. We started rolling out order editing in a closed beta to merchants a few weeks ago, and Eric from PupLife was one of the first people we contacted. Over the course of the next few months, every merchant in Shopify will have access to order editing. And I know what you're thinking. About fucking time. Gone are the inconvenient workarounds, the lost sales, the damaged customer relationships. That's all in the past now. And a big thank you to merchants like Eric and partners like you who continue to bet on Shopify year after year. And as a further thank you, today we're releasing an important element of order editing to you, the GraphQL API. When it comes to something like order editing, it's really easy to focus on the most basic use case, a buyer changing their mind after the order is placed. But it's so much more than that. It opens up huge capabilities for buyer control, personalization, and customer relationship management. Let's take a look at some examples of how you might build upon this. Using the Shopify mobile app, which we've built with the very same APIs that we're releasing to you in developer preview today, our merchants will be able to alter orders, add custom items, and even send the buyer a request for additional payment. All of the changes are now reflected accurately across the platform, from the buyer's communications to the merchant's reports. And with our order editing APIs and upcoming support for discounts and multi-currency, you'll soon have the ability to create all sorts of personalized and tailored experiences after the initial order is placed. So say you want to set a new rule to say that if a VIP customer makes 10 orders, they get a free gift. Merchants will be able to do that now through apps like Shopify Flow and partner-developed apps. This not only saves the merchant the manual back-office time of actually counting the orders and then finding a way to edit and control the free item, it also provides a great and accurately tracked buyer experience. For stores that offer things like post-order customization or bespoke items, they'll now be able to take an initial order and work with the buyer over time to make the product exactly what they want. The opportunities are enormous, and I can't wait to see what you're going to build to elevate the quality of buyer experiences our merchants can offer through your apps and integrations. But let's wrap it up and zoom out for a moment, because all the examples that I've walked you through today show a single merchant working in their back office in English. But Shopify is a global platform now, and we need to reflect that reality in the place that they spend most of their time. Now, last year on this stage, we launched Shopify in 6 new languages. And we wondered, would this be helpful? Would it continue to lower the barrier to entrepreneurship? And as you might have seen in their year in review video, there are now 100,000 people using Shopify in one of these 6 languages. And so we're going to take this even further, and we're going to launch Shopify in 11 more languages. These 11 new languages are spoken by more than 2 billion people around the world, making it possible for all of us to bring Shopify to more entrepreneurs than ever before. And a huge part of enabling entrepreneurs all over the world to scale is helping them meet their buyers' local expectations. And watching some of our most complex and fast-moving businesses do this has been fascinating. So how are we scaling Shopify to enable businesses that want to offer multiple local store experiences? And how are we scaling Shopify to help businesses that run multiple brands under one umbrella? We have an answer for them too, with Plus.